Welcome back to the Super Hornet podcast. My name is Evan Hale. We got a very special guest today. It's Clifford Taylor. He's a content creator. Find him on TikTok, YouTube. You even have an IMDb page. I was looking you up a little bit. You've been on a couple, looks like TV shows featured there. Also a former football player at the University of Florida. Just, cool dude and a big Hornets fan, from the Charlotte area. So welcome to the show.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me, man. That was too kind, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, man. You make good stuff. Funny, I followed you on Twitter. You followed me back, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, let me hit him up real quick, see if he wants to hop on the show. And
Yeah.
a couple of days later, here we are, which is pretty sick. But how you feeling about the Hornets off season so far? You liking it, or?
It's kind of trippy, and the reason I say it's trippy because it's like you look up and you're just kind of like, we're making moves.
Exactly. Exactly.
We're doing, because it's like, it's so funny because it's like, my favorite player in the league obviously is Steph Curry. He's a Charlotte boy, so huge Curry guy. So I'm expecting everybody and their mama to go to the Warriors, so and so to the Warriors. I haven't heard a thing, and meanwhile over here in Charlotte, you're just like, wait. Pat Connaughton? That's a good get. Colin Sexton. See, that's the thing. When I saw Colin Sexton, I jumped because it's like the first thing I think of with Colin Sexton is defense.
Yeah,
and that's something that we have been lacking for God knows how long.
Just intensity. Like he's a guy, and he's been on some bad teams in the last couple of years. So I feel like that takes away from him. Right. I think with Charles Lee, Charles Lee's like an intense guy, likes the intensity. Man, I think he's going to fit the team well. And then also with those trades, we got second round picks with both of those trades.
Yeah, we got that. I mean, hey, we got a vet that's been in the league for a while, and Pat Connaughton too. So it's like, okay, we got some more veteran pieces and leadership that can help, build the foundation. Because like our team is extremely young. Like I literally went to school with Trey Mann, right? So it's like our team is just like extremely young. But I feel like since Lee's got a year under his belt, I feel like he's more comfortable in the situation. So maybe our defense will be able to elevate a little more, because it's like LaMelo can drop 30 and 40 every night and still roll his ankle the next game, because like we've been dealing with that for the last couple of years. But it's like, for me, it's just like sometimes I'll just be on my phone and I'm just like, man, we let them score how much? Like one, it's like 130 here, 120 there, 140 on a couple. It's just like, it comes to a point where you just gotta learn to strap up. So I think some of the pieces that we got this offseason was good. I was a huge fan of the Knuckle pick because I wanted Edgecombe, but I was like, Sixers beat us.
Yeah, I wanted Edgecombe.
I wanted Edgecombe, but I was like, if you give me Knuckle, you give me Fierce, you give me one of those two, I'm fine. Because like I didn't want Ace Bailey. Ace Bailey didn't even want to be in Charlotte anyway. So it's just like,
exactly.
Yeah, give me Knuckle or Fears, and I'm chilling. So we got Knuckle, who I got to see firsthand on a couple of occasions this past season, and it's like, yeah, he can shoot the ball. His defense is great, but I think one thing that gets overlooked is his IQ. When I was watching him during the tournament and during the Duke run, I'm like, as a Gator, I'm just like, I hope to God we don't play them in the national championship, but we're more than likely gonna play them. And when they lost to Houston, I was like,
thank God, right? Were you at the Raleigh games because Florida was there?
No, I wasn't there. I was at the Final Four.
Gotcha. I went to the Raleigh game, so I got to see Florida play, Duke play. I got to see Fears with Oklahoma. Liam McNeely, got to see him play with UConn. I got to see a bunch of cool games. And VJ too. VJ played out there. It was a lot of like really cool draft guys were out there.
Yeah, and that was another thing too. So I didn't really see too much of McNeely throughout the season. I only saw him torch the Gators in the second round of the tournament. Whole time I was just kind of watching. I was like,
he had you on the ropes.
Yeah, I'm like this kid could go to the league, and I didn't realize he was a freshman. So I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna be out of there. He's one and done. But then when I saw him fall into our lap, I was like, wait, we're kind of cooking with this draft right now. Yeah, like what's going on? And then we got a couple other guys. But yeah, I feel like the draft this year has been the best in, quite frankly, a couple years.
Oh yeah, no,
quite frankly.
The only thing that scares me is the last time I felt this good about a draft was in 2021 when we got Kai Jones and James Bouknight. And looking back, I'm like, oh man. But I think these guys are different. These aren't like project picks. These are guys who, and they're not like. I think the issue is if you draft those just kind of score first guards, especially like Bouknight, and then to a degree like Nick Smith Jr. repping his jersey right here.
Oh yeah, Nick, yeah.
But you have those guys. They're I feel like they have a lower floor. So they can't be like a boom kind of guy, but both him and Bouknight both didn't pan out. And then Kai Jones was your project pick. He had some fun dunks, but he was
but he was a little wild. He was a wild boy.
Yeah, definitely.
But man, it's so crazy bringing that up because man, it's like I remember it was the 21-22 season, the 75th year of the NBA, man. Man, we had so many people. We had some ball players on that team, man. And it still bothers me how like we just got absolutely blown out by the Hawks in the play-in. It's just like we had Bridges before the whole stuff happened. We had LaMelo,
PJ Washington,
we had PJ, Harrell, even Gordon. It was just like
Mason Plumlee's on that roster.
Plumlee, we got Plumlee back. It's just like, man, we had such a core, and it still bothers me that we lost the way that we did because it was just like we had a chance to possibly make some noise, but it all comes back to defense, man, and we showed none of it in that plan, and that still to this day bothers me, man, because at the time I was working for the NBA, so I was like, oh snap, like I get to cover my Hornets. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
It was defense, and I feel like it was depth. Like after you named all those guys, and then like Rozier, and then after those guys, it was JT Thor and Kai Jones, and that was your roster, and it was just that was the issue is you didn't have any depth, and this team does have injury concerns. You mentioned LaMelo. I'm obviously LaMelo. You can always talk about the injuries. I have a little bit more faith in the future because he had those surgeries this offseason where he had to work on his wrist and his ankle. It sounds like when they did the original surgeries, there were issues with him. They didn't quite fix exactly what needed to be done, or there was complications with those surgeries. Sounds like he's good now. I mean, I've been seeing videos of him working out, and he looks like he's moving good. He's wearing the ankle braces now, thank God. Yeah. That was a talk last year because he rolled his ankle one time last year, and he only missed like 2 weeks. So it wasn't like the end of the world. It's just he was having the dumb things with his ankle and his wrist from the previous injuries, and the Hornets weren't very good. Everyone was out at that point. He just was like,
everybody tapped out, everybody clogged out.
They're like, let's go see Cooper Flag, and we obviously didn't get him, but I'm happy with Kneppel because I mean, you see the IQ is off the charts, man. He didn't even. I think he scored like 9 points in the first round. And I at the game, I was still impressed with him. I was watching him play, and I was like, "Wow, look at this guy." I was there, trying to watch, especially Cooper Flag and VJ Edgecombe. Those are the guys I was most high on. But then Kneppel, he impressed me because he made a lot of moves, made a lot of defensive plays. He just. I think what's good about him is there were so many good guys on that Duke team that he wasn't a star, but when he needed to be, he could. Like Cooper Flag goes down in the ACC tournament, he steps up and has a couple big games. But he knows he can play a role, and he knows the role can shift, and he can fit to that. And he's got good size, good defense. He attacks the basket well. I think it's super underrated. He's really shifty once he gets inside, and I'm excited about him and Liam McNeely, obviously. And then the second rounders, I think Ryan Kalkbrenner is going to be a real rotational center for us, especially with us only having him,
Plumlee.
Dude, I hope Plumlee is like the Taj Gibson guy. I don't need him playing real minutes.
Yeah, right. We just need a guy, a vet.
Yeah.
Be a Udonis Haslam for our team.
Exactly.
Don't fight nobody.
Maybe fight somebody. I don't know. It depends.
Yeah, if we allow 150, you can throw somebody out. But yeah.
I'm hoping that's not going to happen. And then
I hope not either, man.
Yeah, Sion James, man. I don't think he's gonna let that happen. He's like a brick wall on defense.
That's what we need, man. That's what we need because like we can do whatever we want on the offensive end, but it's like on defense, it's just like we just disappear, we vanish. So it's we'll see, man. But I'm hoping everything pans out the way it's supposed to because man, I grew up with the Bobcats, man. So I've seen the worst of the worst, man. So at some point, it just comes to a point where you're just like, all right, we gotta at least make some noise in the playoffs, at least. Because since I've been around, because I was too young for the OG Hornets, but it's like every playoff series, like I've never seen us make it past the first round. I saw us get swept twice as the Bobcats. And then that, oh my God, I still
Miami series, man.
I still get mad about that game 6. I still get mad. It's so funny because me and my boys at the time, because we were at that game, and so we're at the game. We're like, that's not Big Pat. Where's Big Pat?
I love Big Pat, man.
Yeah, God rest his soul. But we were just like, that's not Pat. And we jokingly said, we gonna lose this game because Pat ain't even here. And sure enough, D Wade turned into 06 D Wade for the last 2.5 minutes, and then of course you had the iconic purple shirt guy, legend by the way. But yeah, no, that game hurt more than being sweat both times. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That hurt way more.
And shout out Big Pat. I have a great relationship with him. He was a really good guy. He was part of the reason I became a Hornets fan. I'm from the Carolinas, but I'm somebody I've had health conditions my whole life, and I couldn't play sports. And seeing a dude like Pat, in the dealing with all his stuff, and then being like, he was the announcer in the 2K games and everything. Like, this is the peak of his powers, and he's just a dude out there dealing with his own stuff. It made me love the Hornets even more than I already did. And, felt I watched basketball then, but I was more just like a basketball fan, and then I decided to become a Hornets fan, and we sucked after that. So I mean, maybe other than that 2016 series, that's about all there was. I mean,
that was just such a magical time. And I tell people all the time, 2015 and 2016, that was just such an iconic time to be in Charlotte, man. Because I went to Olympic, which is like 15 minutes from uptown, and man, it's like every week we was winning, we kept on winning. You saw more and more students wear Panther stuff. And see, at the time, I could have been like, nah, like stay off the bandwagon, but I was welcoming of it because it's like, yo, man, like we going. Because fun fact, if we had won that Super Bowl, they were gonna not only were they gonna cancel school that Monday, they were gonna cancel school that Friday for the parade. So it was like, so the whole time we're just like, yo, we ain't about to have school, like man, we got just
Broncos, man. I'm a huge Panthers fan too. I was at Cam Newton's first win. I went to the Monday night game that year against Indianapolis.
Yeah.
We won in overtime. That was elite, man. It was so much fun. That game was on my birthday. My dad took me. It was like the coolest thing.
Yeah, and in the rain, I remember.
Yeah, no, that every Panthers game we went to was rained. I don't know, because I remember Cam's first win, but it was against the Jags. And it poured rain. Rain.
Yeah, I remember. I think I was out of town that game. I went to the game before his first home game where he had like 423 or something like that. But yeah, even when we lost, I was like, yeah, we got a stud. We got a stud.
It's been making me angry. Like, I respect Jalen Hurts, but they've been talking about him and Cam. I'm like, it's not even a discussion.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. It's like, first of all, and no disrespect to these guys because they were great for us that year. Man, we had Philly Brown, Ted Ginn. You know what I'm saying?
Ted Ginn dropped the game-winning touchdown in that game, and if Luke Kuechly didn't pick off Andrew Luck, we'd have lost that game.
I mean, we did have Jericho Clutchery. Shout out Jericho Clutchery. We had Clutchery.
Shout out Clutchery.
But our number one guy was Olsen. It was Greg. So it's just like
gotta love Greg Olsen.
It comes to a point because I'm telling you, man, if we had Benji, oh man, and that's so unfortunate how his career. Because I thought he was going to be the second coming of Megatron. I really, really did. Even after he tore
so good at Florida State, man. He was so good at Florida State.
Man, and that kills me to say that, but it's like, man, watching him catch that game-winning touchdown, I was like, this tall SOB. But yeah, then he ended up falling in our lap, and I was like, oh snap! Like, I mean, the only Noah I ever rooted for before him was Edward Brown, and I didn't even really root for him like that. But when we got Benji, I was like, oh yeah. He's cold, but then it's just unfortunate how that all panned out, man. But yeah, wishing
still a fun season, man. Still a fun season. Kind of so great, and it was cool for me because I'm from Conway, South Carolina, like Myrtle Beach, Conway. So that's where Coastal Carolina is. So we had Josh Norman and Mike Tolbert on that same team, man.
Mm-hmm.
God, they were so good, man.
Josh was playing out of his mind that year, and Mike. We had like what 10 Pro Bowlers that year, something like that. It was just like
that team was so good.
Yo,
that team is so good. We're talking about them on a Hornets podcast.
yeah.
Oh yeah. It was 20, and then the Hornets were good then too. Maybe we'll get that back because I joked right before the Panthers won the Super Bowl. Like, have you seen all the parallels with the Panthers Super Bowl from this year and previous years?
Mm-hmm.
We're playing the Jags
week one.
Ohio State's won a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, also last time 2016. Coastal Carolina played in the national championship.
Mm-hmm, and they
won. They lost this time. Maybe that means we'll win the Super Bowl. Maybe that's what that does for me.
Oh, reverse psychology. Yeah.
But I think, and then the Hornets were good. Last time the Hornets were good was 2016. So, I want to see some good hoops. That's all I want. Some good football. I think the Panthers and the Hornets are both going to be pretty decent next year. So to get back on the Hornets. What are your expectations next year? Like, how are you feeling if the because we have to make some roster cuts because I think we got 19 dudes rostered right now. I think that if I had to assume, love Daquan Jeffries, he's definitely gone. He's the first dude off the list.
Yeah.
I think Okogie is probably going to be gone.
Yeah.
And Nick Smith Jr. possibly is going to be gone too. I think you keep Josh Green.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. Josh.
I think there's too much Trey Mann and KJ Simpson overlap for Nick Smith Jr. at this point. You know that I got the jersey. My first Twitter page was a Nick Smith Jr. fan page.
Yeah,
just because I was like, I need to find a guy to be a root for, and but I'm hoping it turns into a trade. Maybe get another center on the roster, but it just depends. Okogie's money is guaranteed on July 15th, so what's today's the 11th? So I got 4 more days on that, and then it's guaranteed $7.9 million. I don't know if another trade is going to happen right now. I think that everyone we signed, obviously, you can't just cut a guy you signed. So I think Dinwiddie's a dude at the deadline I can see getting moved.
yeah.
Because every time he signs somewhere that's not like Brooklyn or Dallas, he gets traded. Like every time.
Yeah, I feel like
I was looking back, like he was in Brooklyn. Well, he gets drafted to Detroit, signs with Brooklyn. The Wizards sign him. They trade Amelia Dallas. Dallas immediately trades him to Brooklyn. Then he re-signs with Brooklyn. He gets traded to the Lakers. Then he's back in Dallas. Like he's just.
I forgot he was on the. Yeah, I forgot he was on the Lakers.
They needed a center, right?
I forgot. Yeah, man. Oh man, it's so wild, man. Because when that trade happened, man, when we got rid of Mark Williams, I was like, for what? I was not a fan of that. And then we traded him again. I was just like, for what? For what? Like he's a young up and coming big, but it's like for what? But it's like,
I'm assuming they didn't want to pay him. I think that's like the big thing is, and I get it because he's had the injury concerns and like he was really good offensively, but I think the defense didn't pan out the way they wanted him to, and he put on some muscle and immediately started getting hurt. I'm okay with Mark Williams being gone. I like the Lakers package more, but I'm really happy getting Liam McNeely, and we get a future first. And this team's got a lot of picks now, like a lot of picks.
We got too many.
Yeah, I think the casualty of losing guys like Mark Williams and you had Terry Rozier and PJ Washington, these guys who were good on paper but didn't maybe pan out for the Hornets specifically. I think Terry's probably the best guy to play for the Hornets in that regard. But they all got traded except for Mark. They all got traded, and they expressed that they didn't want to be here anymore. Like you saw the PJ Washington was making jokes about, I was on the Hornets and now I'm in the finals, and Terry had the comments afterwards, and those guys just didn't want to be in Charlotte. And I understand it to a degree. I mean, if Michael Jordan owned me as a player, I'd probably be pretty pissed too. But now I really believe in this new ownership group, and I'm a big Jeff Peterson guy, really big Charles Lee guy. I have faith. Maybe call me stupid because I was somebody who's more negative in the past, but.
No, I was very negative in the past.
I believe again, man. They lit that spark back in me. I'm trying to be more positive,
I was very even long after he was gone, man. Anytime when we brought Kupchak, I was looking at everybody because I knew who he was, obviously with the Lakers, but I'm like, as long as his name is not Richard Cho, I am fine.
He just was like that dude again.
I was like, exactly. I was like, Mitch. When I said not Rich Cho, I didn't mean act like him either. Like I didn't mean that, but yeah. Oh man, that was just because, like I said, when we brought Mitch, I was like, oh,
you made the Pau Gasol trade. Like he knows how to make moves.
Yeah, I was like, okay. You build around Melo, and if you can keep Bridges even after all this stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, if you keep those two and build a core around them, oh, we in there. I couldn't be more wrong. I couldn't be more wrong.
Yeah, no. Are you pro or against Miles Bridges being on this roster? Your face is exactly how I feel off bat immediately.
So it's a tough one because it's like if you would have asked me like even a year or two ago, I would be like, oh, he can, clear him. He's clearing. It's a bad look. Now it's like, and I hate even saying this, but it's like. Now that stuff's kind of
run its course a little bit,
died down. It's just like we root. Are we putting our arms up?
He had some good games to end the year, dude. I was at the Kings game this year. He threw a lob off the backboard to himself. I was like, oh my god! Like he's somebody who's been the most consistent. I don't like his shots. Like part of the way he shoots like part of the way he plays basketball, I also just don't want him on my team anymore. On top of everything else, I think that I like that the Hornets signed him to a descending deal. I like that, and I think that maybe they're trying to fix his image a little bit for a move, maybe to get him out of Charlotte. Because I think he could be a dude you put in a package to make your roster better.
Yeah, because he was gonna go to what was it, Detroit?
Yeah, there were talks about him. Detroit and the Clippers and the Cavs gave him looks. Like I think they had meetings with his agent, but I think Rich Paul's his agent, so they had meetings with Rich Paul, and then he ended up signing back with Charlotte. I think they gave him the most money because they were the only team that had the money to give him. But I'd be cool if we sent him to Cleveland for like Jared Allen.
Oh, if we get Jared Allen. Oh man. But
especially with T-John looking better, if you had T-John starting, and then Grant Williams come back off the bench.
Yeah, the Cavs are probably going to end up giving him the bag eventually to him, Mobley, Mitchell.
Well, they're just crazy over the second apron right now. So he has a bag. He's got a long year deal, like a long deal right now. But it's just they're like $20 million over the second apron. Like they'd have to trade him, and that's why they didn't. I mean. They didn't sign Ty Jerome back because I don't think they expect him to get such a little money. Like they signed Sam Merrill for more money than they signed Ty Jerome for, but he ends up leaving, and they gotta start looking inward. I think Mobley is the guy who could be a center. He only plays the 4 because he's got Jared Allen there with him. But I just want another big man. I had a dream the other night that we traded for Bam Adebayo, and it was like I woke up I'm like, man, can we make that happen?
Yeah, it's so crazy because I remember even back in the day, man, it was just like we would always we always needed a big man. Like our big the year we first made the playoffs in 2010 was Theo Ratliff, 6'9". And I
forgot Theo Ratliff was on that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and man, I was so tight when we and I'm going way back, but I remember we were supposed to get a big, and I'm thinking, okay, Al Horford, Joakim Noah, and he goes, Brandon Williams. I'm like, Brandon Williams. Listen, I know at Hornets games we cheer for the Tar Heels and we boo the Blue Devils, but it's like Brandon Williams. And then we ended up trading him. So it's just like we did all that for nothing. But yeah, nah, man. If you could just give us a consistent big, I swear we'll be fine, bro. Because Melo gonna be Melo, Bridges is gonna be Bridges, but just give us a quality big. I'm not talking about one that can pull up and shoot a 3 like Byron Mullins. I'm talking about one that is going to back you down, take you to the paint, barbecue chicken like Joel Embiid before he started, shooting threes and won MVP and all that. But yeah, man, I just want a solid big, man, instead of just giving them away.
Yeah, now you're talking about the Blue Devil stuff. I think that Jeff Peterson and Rick Stahl both have Duke connections now, so I think it's kind of reversed now. And Michael Jordan's a partial owner of the team, but I think that shifted. I mean, they did the training camp at Duke last year because they were doing work on the facilities. So, it's Melo will make a big better. I'm excited about Ryan Kalkbrenner because you had these bigs who come in the league. In recent memory, you had Donovan Clingan came over. And Zach Edey, and they kind of struggled with having their lungs and with the minutes played. Kalkbrenner was a dude who played 30-something minutes every night for 5 years in college. He's he's 23 or 22.
Yep, big 7 foot. And he's got size.
He's got size, and he's a good defender.
260, yeah.
And he knocked down a 3-pointer too. And he was saying in a recent interview with one of the Hornets Hivecasts, I think, that they're encouraging him to shoot the ball, especially in summer league. Take the shots. I mean, if you can have a pick and pop guy who can also catch loud for the Melo, that sounds like heaven. Especially with you got a guy like Musa who isn't a shooter, but is does a lot of other hustle things and can play on the perimeter. I think that they really just believe. I know Zach Lowe, he just did a little segment on the Hornets. I haven't got to listen to all of it yet, but he was talking about how the Hornets are really high on Kalkbrenner. So maybe that's why they brought Plumlee in. They're just going to let Musa and Kalkbrenner run out there and Plumlee just in case. And then Grant Williams is going to come back and play small ball 5 too to kind of back him up. And, it's got me feeling a little bit better, a little bit more calm about everything.
I hope so, man. I really do. Like I said, I'm over getting. Listen, I get NBA League Pass every year, and I'm like, okay, at some point, y'all got to hold y'all end of the bargain and give me something to cheer about. Because to be fair, in the beginning of last season, it's kind of like, oh, we beat the Bucks. We beat. Oh,
it's twice.
Oh, wait a minute. wait a minute. Can we do something? And then we went on like a. I don't even want to talk
19 game losing streak.
I don't even want to talk. I hate false hope, man. I feel like that's all we live for.
You mentioned it before, and part of the reason we had these struggles is Trey Mann. We lost him. We brought him back on a really good deal. I mean, 3 years, $8 million a year. Like that's. I'm excited to have him back as just your spark plug off the bench. The Hornets started off it was 7-9 before Grant and Trey got hurt, and they beat the Pistons twice at home. They beat the Bucks on a missed game winner by Giannis, like you had mentioned, and it was just like I think, and this team is more talented than it was then. I mean, the center depth is hurting a little bit more because Mark was out during that time, and we had Nick Richards and Moussa Diabate. And I think Nick Richards was a little overrated. I think a lot of the fans were like a lot higher on him, but some of the fans were also lower on him too. So I guess if you were the average was maybe a little higher on him because people hated Nick Richards.
Yeah, I was never too high, but I wasn't low either on him.
Yeah,
he could produce is what I would say, but he wouldn't like wow you. He just kind of be like, good job. You know what I'm saying? Like
he had a couple of games where like he had some good blocks and
right.
But I feel like he was bullied too easy. Same kind of very similar concerns with Mark Williams was he was bullied too easy and he had a lot of goaltends and
he had way too many goaltends.
I've never seen he had like 4 in a game when I was at one time. I'm like, oh my god, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, and
it was like a close game. I'm like, can you not, bud? Like I don't remember who we were playing, but I remember it was a close game and he had one late that kind of sealed the game, and I was like, man. But he. We have the Phoenix Suns center exchange. Apparently, they've gotten like how many of our bigs? We've got some back, and
too many of them. Yeah.
Asa Plumlee was out there too. We didn't trade him there, but he ended up there. Now he's back here, and every center for the Suns in the last 2 years played for the Hornets.
That's true.
Mark Williams, Nick Richards, except for Kamam Alawatch, who's a rookie, so he couldn't have. But hey, he played in North Carolina.
That's fair. Yeah, that's very fair. Yeah.
Yeah, but with the Eastern Conference, I think the Eastern Conference got better this offseason. People were talking about, the injuries is going to be a weak East, and then the Hawks got really, added some pieces.
Hawks
I feel like, obviously the Bucks, they cut Lillard, but they were able to stretch his contract and get Miles Turner. And I'm not a huge fan of their roster, but I think they could probably be like the 8th seed.
Yeah, I think they need to find a quick replacement because you don't just cut Dame time. I get it. He tore his Achilles and it sucks. But it's like you don't get rid of Dame time like that. And it's honestly mind-boggling to me that Giannis, because I would have thought Giannis would have been like, all right, I'm out of here. Especially at Turner, it's just like, oh, they ain't trying to win right now. Now, to their credit, they did bring back Bobby Portis, who's kind of like the unsung like hero of the team. Like he's a fan favorite and all that. But it's like when I look at the overall just like depth of the East, I don't want to say it's anyone's East to lose, but at the same time it kind of is, because it's like the Cavs. I mean, we've learned this about the Cavs even a couple years back. It's like, yeah, the Cavs can make noise in the regular season. Yeah. What are you going to do in the playoffs? They haven't done a thing. You got them. Because to be honest, looking at teams right now, it's like depending on who else the Knicks get in this offseason, it's the Knicks to lose, really.
Yeah, the Pacers might not even be like. I mean, I guess they were so deep. They're either just like a normal team. They're not a deep team, right, because you don't have a center now, and you also don't have any. With Tyrese gone, your guard rotation's all screwed up. I mean,
yeah, and I never understood the whole like overrated thing with Halliburton. I was like, overrated?
Oh, God, no, he's so good. I
was like, he's been good since he got, like, he was an all-star as soon as he got there. And it's not like he's like he'll give you like 10, 10, and 10 easy. So the whole overrated thing. And I get he has like a not so appealing to look at jump shot, but
it goes in, bro. It goes in.
It goes in. And not only does it go in, it goes in the clutch time, like every single time. And it's like, you can make fun of his shot, but it's like everybody call him overrated. It's like, God, really? It's like,
I think it was before the playoffs.
I never understood that. I never got that.
I feel the same way. I mean, he's the only player ever to have a buzzer beater, game winner in each round. Each round of the playoffs, man, it's crazy. And he's so good. I mean, it's not a direct comp 1-to-1, but he's definitely like this generation's Chris Paul. In
a sense, yeah.
Especially like New Orleans Chris Paul.
Yeah. Oh man, New Orleans Chris Paul. People, what I'm saying, like most people remember him for like the Clippers and all that. I
Lob
tell
City,
people all the time, and I'm like, bro, y'all don't know how good Chris Paul was on the Hornets the New Orleans Hornets back in the day. I hate saying New Orleans Hornets, but on the
That's
New
why
Orleans,
I just said New Orleans. That's all I said.
New Orleans back in the day. People don't realize, man, CP3 was nasty, man. He was cold. But yeah, man, I feel bad, man, because he definitely should have got a ring with Cole, but
David
Mr. Stern
was like, nah,
we ain't having that. Now you look at these teams now, and it's like, but I'm telling you, man, if he was, because what year did David Stern? David Stern died, and
it was. I think he stopped being the commissioner in like 20.
Was it 13, 14?
Yeah, because it was. They were saying whenever it was before, maybe it's later than that, because I think it was. I'll look it up real quick. When did
It had to be because he was in the Last Dance documentary, and that came out in 2020. So it had to be if it was like maybe early 2020, late 2019, whenever they stopped filming. Because I remember he was in that documentary.
Yeah, he Adam Silver became it in 2014.
14.
So there has not been a multi-time champion other than the Warriors in that time. So what was it? It's 11 years. There's been they won 4 championships. So 11 years. There's been 8 champions.
I find that I got such a love-hate relationship with that. I find that so exciting, but at the same time, it's like.
Yeah. In the I was texting my buddy about this because I saw a thing about it. It was like there was only like 9 or 10 champs in the whole entire time that Stern was in charge.
Yeah, like
it was the Bulls, Spurs, Lakers, Rockets, Pistons, Celtics, Mavs, Heat, and the Mavs were the only team to win one.
That's crazy.
He took over in the like I think at the end of the 80s, like when the Pistons started winning.
Yeah, when the Pistons started winning, wow.
When they went back to back, and then
went back to back 89, 90, and then the Bulls were the Bulls, and then the Rockets, and then Bulls, and then the Spurs,
the Lakers, and then the Pistons, and the whole thing. But it was it's been cool, the parody, and the second apron gets a lot of complaints, but I think it's also had the good parts too. I mean, maybe if you're a Celtics fan, you don't like the second apron because they had to dismantle their whole team. They're not going to be good next year. It's one of those things.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see Anthony Simon on that roster, though. I think that could be kind of fun.
I was talking to my homeboy about this the other day. It's like it's great for him getting out of Portland. That's great for him. I don't know how that's gonna work in Boston though, because it's like when they got rid of Drew, I was like, really? Because like Drew is like he is a lethal defender, like one of the best defenders we have in the league. So when they got rid of him, and then Porzingis, and I was like, oh, they're just clearing house. I didn't really get that, but I mean, JB got his money. Tay got his money, obviously. Tay gonna get his money, obviously. But I don't really get those moves. I wasn't really super duper into them, but it's like
it just got off the money is what it was.
Yeah, but I guess not this year, but the following season. I'm just kind of curious how that's gonna work because you got 3 guys that want the ball in their hands, especially in the clutch. How's that gonna work? Because it's already rumored. I mean, they can deny it all they want. It's already rumored about the whole JT and JB division, and then you add a younger Anthony Simmons into that. It's like, how's that gonna work? At least the Hornets ain't got those problems, but I mean, still, how's that gonna work?
I guess because Tatum's out all next year. They're just gonna let it roll with Anthony and with Jalen and see how that goes. I mean, Jalen Brown had a surgery this offseason too. I think he's gonna be good to go at the start of the season, but maybe they'll see how those two play together, and then if not, you can just trade Anthony Simons, for something else, maybe a big, let's take it back, another guard. And, they're not going to have any centers. Like the Hornets don't have any centers next year. I mean, it's just there's a lot of teams are missing their bigs, is what it is. The Pacers don't have any bigs. The Hornets don't have any bigs. The Celtics don't have any bigs. I think they have it's I'm somebody, I'm trying to be realistic with the Hornets and everything. I think they could be the 8-9 seed, something like that. That's like a real possibility. I was happy with our pool for the NBA Cup. I don't know if you saw our pool for that,
Yeah.
It was the Bulls, the Heat,
Bulls, Heat.
the Bucks, and the Knicks.
Only trouble I see in there is the Knicks.
Yeah, I mean,
right now.
you still got to play Giannis, and I mean, the Heat are always the Heat when they play the Hornets. It's always like they're our closest thing to a rival other than the Hawks.
It's just so weird with the Heat, and it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, they got Norm Powell. I mean, I don't know how that's going to fit because it looks like Norm Powell is going to run your 2, and Tyler Hero is going to be your point guard. And I don't know how that's going to work with the way that their team is set up. You don't have a lot of facilitators for your bigs, so I mean that's going to hurt them in the long run. I think I mean, there is a world I can see them moving off of Bam or Tyler Hero, especially with Khalil Ware there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the Heat aren't really known for like making noise, especially like in season.
Yeah,
because you know Pat Riley. I mean, he's cheaper than Mr. Krabs, so you know
he only trades guys from when they don't play for him, like
when they don't play for him, or they're literally on their hands and knees begging, like, "Yo, get me out of here, get me out. I want to leave." That's the only way.
Yeah, but no, definitely, it's maybe one of those guys asked out, or maybe they finally decide that they want to do something different. Oh my God, my cat wants to be part of the video, so he's a big boy too. But I got another cat named Luca, so I was just like,
Nice.
I love Luca, watching him play. But no, they I don't know, just the Heat are always somehow good and bad at the same time. So it depends with them. It depends on how teams perform, obviously, what injuries happen. I mean, anything happens to anybody else in Boston, I think they're out of the playoffs. And maybe they want to tank. Brad Stevens is a smart guy. This is a good draft. Maybe he's like, hey, we're just gonna shut it down this year, or I mean, I'm kind of high on the Wizards. I like all their moves this offseason. They got a bunch of guys for nothing, essentially. They got a really good like veteran depth. They got CJ McCollum, Chris Middleton. You just added Cam Whitmore's not a vet, obviously, but added him for a second round pick. And I like their young guys a lot. But they have their pick is top 8 protected, so they're not going to try. One more year at least.
Yeah, but the Wizards gonna be the Wizards. That's what I always tell my buddies. The Wizards gonna be the Wizards.
Hey, the Wizards swept the Hornets this year, so I guess.
Hey, you know what? That's fine, but they still were the Wizards.
Yeah. They were still worse than us somehow. Yeah. But they I think Brooklyn's gonna take another step back next year. I'm excited to see Michael Porter Jr. Oh my God, I'm mixing Michael Williams and Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. Playing out there with Cam Thomas and the 8 point guards they drafted this draft, or however many guys they did.
Yeah. Porter ain't gonna pass none of them the ball.
Neither is Cam Thomas, bro. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I was saying neither one of them. They're gonna be boxing all day in practice. Ain't none of them gonna want to feed the rock.
Yeah, they're going to combine. Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr. are going to average like a combined 44 points and 2.5 assists.
Jesus, that's freaking crazy.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm somebody. I'm a little higher on the Hornets than obviously the media. But it's been nice to see the media be positive about the Hornets. Like they've been like great in our offseason, good, and our moves good, and there's interest. I think if the Hornets had added a center that wasn't named Mason Plumlee, I think we'd be getting a little bit more looks.
Yeah, facts. That's very true. But like you said, I tell my friends that like it can't be worse than last year.
God, it cannot.
It can't.
Last year.
Yeah, it can't be worse. It can't be worse. And if it is worse, it's just
it's gonna be wraps. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like what
trade everybody, fire everybody.
It's like what
burn
do
down
we
the Spectrum
do?
Center.
It's like what do we do? What do we even do?
At least I think you can agree with this. It feels like we're becoming a real franchise. They're building the practice facility. We got a GM who knows what they're doing. Owners who aren't afraid to spend a little bit of money. A new coach who's won championships as an elite assistant. And I mean, the summer league roster last year is kind of. You remember watching how intense the defense was and how those guys really cared.
Mm-hmm.
That Charles Lee was coaching them, and I think that's a big reason why. I think you put the right guys here, and you have an organization now that might have a chance to get the right guys here. I think something can happen in Charlotte in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I try to remind myself, don't get sucked into the summer league. Don't get sucked into the summer league. It's great to watch, but it's like don't get sucked into the summer league. Because I swear, every year, I'll never forget. There was one year years ago. I think it was Kemba's second year in the league. They went pretty much like undefeated all the way to the end. I swear to God, I was telling every one of my boys, yeah, we going to the playoffs. We gonna make it to the playoffs. We gonna mess around and go to the conference finals. We didn't even make it.
Wasn't it the lockout year we won like 15 games or no, sorry, 7 games,
That's,
7-9? I think that was that year. It was Kemba's second year in the league.
that was just the man, that year just gives me just PTSD.
Maybe the Nets or the Jazz will break our record.
You know what?
Oh God, please.
You know what? They just drafted my guy, so I'm rooting for him, Walter Clayton Jr.
Oh yeah.
They just got my guy. So you know what? They might be trash, but you know what? Walter, I'm rooting for him to hoop.
Heck yeah, you got some relationship with some of those former Florida guys, or?
I want to say relationship. The only Walter story I got is kind of goes back to last year, like actually around May of last year. So I was helping my friend. She was doing like this documentary for her class back in Gainesville. She was in the journalism program, and so we were there. So I was spent a couple days in Gainesville. It was during the week too. So what I would do sometimes, I would go to the facility to work out, and I was cool with the women's basketball coach. She's still there.
Yeah.
So Coach Kelly, I was like, yo, can I go into the gym and can I go hoop a little bit? And she was like, yeah. So I go in there. And, I see some guys training, I'm assuming for the draft, because I think Walter had declared for the draft last year. But see, he had cut his hair. The year before, he had all that hair, like all those dreadlocks. So, like, I didn't even recognize who he was because I'm like, that's not Zion. No, that's not Zion Pullen because he got the same hair, but that's not Zion. I'm like, who is that? So, I'm not interrupting. I'm just kind of sitting, just watching him train. And I'm talking about from sideline to sideline. He's just running, just
he's a bucket, man.
And I was like, I'm back in my mind, I'm like, yo, whoever drafts this guy is about to get a hell of a shooter. Like, I mean, he was just knocked down every single time down. And then I found out that he was playing for us. He had already played a year for us because that was the thing. Like, last couple of years, I kind of been behind when it came to Florida basketball. So I told myself last season I was going to watch more games. Yeah. And the more I watched them, I was just like, yeah, I mean, I was watching him literally do that in the offseason training. Like that one corner three he had during the Final Four against Auburn, where he I'm like, I watched him do that. So it was just like, it came to a point where I'm like, you know what? None of this surprises me. And then watching them win the whole thing, it's just like, yeah, man, Walter Clayton is real deal. Him, Elijah Martin, Will Richard, they're all real deal. So yeah, that's the only story I got of that team.
Mention Trey Mann, I mean.
And Trey, so Trey, I didn't really talk to Trey that much. I was really cool at the time with Noah Locke, Keontae Johnson, who's with our G League team for a little bit.
Yeah.
Johnson, Tyrese Samuel, Scotty Lewis. I just talked to Scotty Lewis the other day. He was actually trying to sell me one of his jerseys. I'm like, buddy, I already got your jersey, man. So it's like I already got one of your jerseys. But yeah, those guys, I was cool. I didn't really talk to Trey, man, like that. Trey was actually like pretty quiet at Florida. He didn't really talk much, man. But that jump from his freshman to sophomore year, I was like, oh yeah, this dude is nice. And so when the Hornets got him, I was like, all right, we're doing all right. And then when we got him back, I was like, smooth backup. We got a good backup.
Yeah, I'm a big Keontae Johnson guy. I had heart surgery, so I like seeing the guy come back from those kind of issues, and definitely a big fan of his. I got to see him play at Greensboro, going out there and seeing that. But dude, thank you so much for coming on the show, and you got some fun stories about being from Charlotte. I'm from the Carolinas, but not from Charlotte, so I love hearing about guys who are involved. Especially you're I think you're 6 months older than me. But what, April 20? Yeah. April 99, right?
April 99, yep.
I'm November 99, so yeah, 7 months ish. But so similar age, have very similar experiences with being Panthers and Hornets fans through high school and the ups and the downs, and it's just cool to get a perspective from a guy like that. So thank you much for being on the show. You got anything you want to say before we close the show?
Man, thank you for having me on the show, man. High mentality, go Hornets. Do they still play the "This City Is My City" at the game?
They stopped, and I was so
they stopped doing it.
Yeah, dude, they started playing. Well, I think they stopped. I don't remember the end of the year if they did. I kind of liked it, to be honest with you. They started playing Tweaker a lot.
Really?
Yeah, and it's funny because
Okay.
I was at one of the games and it was like the song had just come out. It was really popular, and we had pretty like close seats, and LaMelo was shooting a free throw, and he hit the first free throw, and it was really quiet because they were shooting. And me and my buddy yelled the lyrics real loud, and him and Brandon started cracking up. It was really funny. And then like that was like the last time that him and Brandon played together, and then they ended up, Brandon went
Both getting
down.
hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was, it's fun to be that close and crack up with the guys a little bit there. But
Oh yeah.
dude, thank you so much for being here, man. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Check out his links below. They'll be all there. Great dude.